It's the power of your choices that will take you where you want to go. So please, let's choose wisely. Let's always make the choice that favors progress. So do I have a commitment that when we have a seminar for 9, we will be here for 9? No, we should not be here for 9. We should be here for 8:45 to show a level of preparedness for what we have to do. Thank you. So today we're looking at winning strategies for business starters. And like she said, these are things that need to be in place when you are going to start a business. I know we have a lot of employees in our midst, and that's why I was grateful for the story she shared, because she had an employer at a point in time. And through that process, you get to decide what you want your future to be. Our mentor is in the house. He never had an employer. However, he worked on himself for so long before he finished school that he had equipped himself with the information he needed to have, which is why we're here. We're equipping ourselves. Schools will not teach you what you need to do to start a business. And like Mrs. Oluwole said, the only way you can control the amount of income you make is when you run your own business. As long as you are in paid employment, it does not matter if you are employed as an executive director in a bank in Nigeria, you do not control your income. The best that can ever happen to you is that the board of directors will decide your salary. You don't control your income. So no matter your value, it's the value others place on you, on your time, and on your services that you will earn, not a value you determine by yourself. You are in this room because you have a vision of becoming a billionaire. We have different reasons for wanting to become billionaires. We discussed this some months ago. But the reason you're here is because you want a life of impact. You want unlimited income. So it is important for you at this stage to have it in mind already that the only way your income will be unlimited is when you get to determine your income by yourself. So even if where you are today is not where you are going, it's acceptable. But you must be ready to chart a course from where you are to where you want to go. Some people will say they don't have a flavor for business. Well, everything can be used to start a business. And when you know your weaknesses, you can hire your weaknesses. When you know where you are deficient, when you start that business, you can hire somebody to cover that thing you don't know how to do. Because some people, their challenge is they don't know how to collect money. They don't know how to bill. You can hire somebody that can do that for you. But you must have a mentality. You must think in a way that your income must grow exponentially. You must be able to multiply the amount you earn. So, by way of introduction, I would say that you must permanently consider yourself as work in progress. You'll be surprised, but we all know that our mentor still reads more than 1 hour a day. Sometimes we are tempted to think, what is he looking for here? But the rate at which the world is going, you are sure that what you knew in 2019 cannot save you today. As a matter of fact, we were not prepared when the world changed with COVID. What made sense when some of us were in school? We were studying medicine, accountancy, law, and engineering. If you don't make it into those 4, we are praying for you. But these days, you will see a young boy in secondary school who will say he's coding. He developed an app. And he's sitting down at home, playing with his computer 3 times a day, and suddenly he has more money than the accountants, the engineers, and the lawyers. What that shows us is that it's a volatile world. They call it the VUCA world. It's volatile, uncertain. The world is changing so fast that if you are not studying and upgrading yourself at the rate at which the world is changing, you will be left behind. Imagine during COVID, somebody who is into food did not have a system of delivery and they shut down businesses. They had to find out, what else can I do? I know a tailor who made tons of money from being able to produce scrubs and face masks. How was she able to produce it during COVID? It was because she had studied it before COVID. She had studied how to make different types of uniforms. Part of it was studying how to make the uniforms for doctors. So when COVID hit, she just started refreshing herself and taught her tailors, because she has a tailoring school. Now, when she taught her tailors, the tailors were looking at her like, what is wrong with you? Suddenly, FCMB issued an invitation for bid for people that can produce 5,000 personal protective gear and scrubs, because they want to distribute it to hospitals as their own way of combating the pandemic. If she was not improving herself, she would not know how to do it. If she did not know how to do it, she would not have gotten that contract. And so in the middle of the pandemic, when people were complaining about a drop in income, she was smiling all the way to the bank, because she was getting contracts for protective gear, face masks, scrubs, and all of that. So what am I saying? You must always consider yourself as a project that you are working on every day. And that's why we say practice savers. Who can remind us what savers is? Okay, it's from the book Miracle Morning. There are some people who are not, please, if you have not read the Miracle Morning before, raise your hand, so that I'll know if I need to send the book to the platform today. You have not read Miracle Morning before. See, almost half the room has not read it. In that book, there's a practice we are supposed to use to start our day every day. It is impossible that you would practice savers and not experience improvement and progress in your personal life on a daily basis. Savers means silence, when you keep quiet and you meditate. Affirmations, where you speak to yourself, where you tell yourself what you should be. And you know, the more you hear, the more you become. Visualization, when you sit down and envision the future you anticipate. You don't just see it, you feel it. It helps you move faster towards your goal. And the truth is, whatever it is you focus on expands. So when you are focusing on your vision, the resources you need to make those visions come to pass, they would come to you. E is for exercise. Exercise is to get your blood juices flowing and to put your brain ready for R. R is for reading. We should all read every day. What you will read might now be for you to choose. However, when you know where you are going, you will read the materials that will get you there. Many of us have heard the story of Academy Suits. If you have not read it, well, find it. I'm sure they will help you get it. But before Dr. Habib started Academy Suits, he read nothing less than 10 books on how to manage hotels, how to run hotels. He read upon the hospitality industry. So, when you're a person under construction, what are the things you need to learn? We still spoke about this about 2 months ago, when we said, diagnose yourself. Find what you need to work on, and then look for the books that teach these things. Spend your time early in the morning when your body and brain is ready to absorb the best, and read. And write out action plans. What are you going to do differently because of what the new knowledge you have come in contact with? That is how to improve yourself. And of course, the last S, which is scribing, writing. As you read, you write down what you're going to do differently as a result of whatever it is you read that day. Of course, you also write down your to-do list. Many of us still do not write to-do lists. We still attack our day and accept everything as it comes. The truth is, if you have somewhere you are going, you will take control of your time. And you will make sure you only apply your time to the things that will get you where you need to go. Now, this learning process doesn't stop. You'll be surprised, there are books on everything. So even when you think you have managed to gather enough business knowledge, there are times when what you need to be reading is how to parent, how to be the type of parents that your children need, how to be, even as an employee, there are books on how to be the type of employee that your employer needs, how to be the star employee, how to function best in your role. You'll be surprised, there are books on how to grow your hair. There are books on practically every topic in the world. So when you see yourself as work in progress, when you see yourself as a skyscraper, and you keep adding flaws to yourself on a daily basis, There is no how. No how you would escape notice. Why? Because you keep getting better and better. The same way that affirmation goes. So, when you want to start a business, the very first place to start is by seeing what you want to do. So, you set a vision. But let me talk about starting a business generally now. I know I've shared the story of how I got into Ankara sales here before. And you remember that story. Sorry, who's coming for the first time? Okay. I started it from having a problem that I needed to solve for myself. And when I solved the problem for myself, I found out that several other people had the same problem that needed the solution. What was the problem? In the year 2015 December, Christmas dresses were going for 15,000 naira each when I converted the dollars I was using to buy it into naira. And then I thought to myself, why would I buy 30,000 naira dress for Christmas? You know Christmas dress, the ball dresses with shine. You can't wear it every day. As a matter of fact, it's only Thanksgiving Sunday you can wear it. So why would I invest so much in those kind of dresses that I will not wear so often? And then I found Ankara that was going for 1,300 for 6 years. The 6 years will make 2 dresses. And I realized, so the fabric will be 1,300. I now got a tailor that will sew it for 1,000 naira. So the total cost of making 2 dresses will be 3,600. And I realized that some of my mates were paying 15,000 naira to buy 1 dress when it can be produced for less. Of course, I could solve that problem. I knew mothers like myself who were looking for Christmas dresses. And that was how I got into that in the first place. As luck, chance, life would have it, I bought fabrics, but before I could sew dresses, they had bought all the fabrics. I bought a larger quantity. Before I could sew anything, they had bought all the fabrics. And that was how I just settled down. Let's be selling the fabrics. I will introduce them to the tailor. So, how is this tied to starting a business? What hurts? What is paining you when you are going through life? What are the pains you experience? What are the things that bother you? What are the problems in the society that bother you, that you can provide a solution to, that people will pay you for? That is the first place to start. There has to be a problem that your business is built around. Your business must be built around a solution to a problem. Now, when you find that problem that you are passionate about, that you can do anything to solve, you have found the business you want to start. Many people make the mistake of starting businesses around their passion in a sense of hobby. What will happen when you are busy doing a business around your hobby is that your hobby might not bring you money. And anything you are doing that is not bringing you money and you are taking a lot of time doing it will become the frustration of your life, because you will keep applying energy and you will not be getting commensurate return. So to start a business, find that problem that you are going to solve. Find that problem that you are passionate about solving, because you will need to generate massive ambition for what you want to do. It costs us exactly the same thing to dream big and to dream small. So why not dream big? So when you want to solve that problem, don't just think of solving the problem on your street. Of course, you can start solving the problem on your street. But think of how you can solve the problem on a large scale because of where you are going. In December, we spoke about living 120 years. And we always reiterate, the last year, your birthday, you write an inscription about what would happen at the age you want to live up to. So at your 120th birthday, we are encouraged to write a story of what we want to see. When you know what you want to see at the end, you know what you need to do to get there. And then you now break it down into the years that are in front of you. That is how to set goals. And what you want to see has to be big enough. And the reason why you want to see it has to be big enough that it will force you to wake up every morning at 4 a.m. It will force you to keep thinking and generating ideas on how you can make these things happen. And that is why, no matter your discipline, you must seek to be the best. Because if you are not in the best, you are going to be in the crowd. And you'll be lost in the crowd. Whatever it is you do, there's a 10-year rule. If you keep doing it for 10 years, you become an expert in it. When you become an expert, if there are many experts in what you do, your chances of rising to the top above everybody else will be slim. So you need to keep developing yourself. You know, that's where we started from. Keep developing yourself, even in your craft. Keep developing yourself, even in your ability to dream. Many people say they don't like motivational books because they make you feel high. And then after the high, you use the high. There's a way to deploy the emotion that motivational books give you. It is the fire you need to pursue your dreams. But nobody will pursue any dreams when they are not dreaming. And that's why visualization is important. Many of us see visualization and we think, the bag I want, you put it on your vision board. The shoes I want to buy, you put it on your vision board. If I see your vision board and the shoe and bag there, we will fight. Put a private jet there. Research the price. Because if you put a private jet there and you don't know how much is being sold, you will not have you won't have the kind of fire you need. So put a yacht there. Research the price. Put the price under it. And then you can even change the name they wrote on the yacht to your own. So that when you see it, you would understand where you are going. And then it will be easy for you to generate the ambition you need. And you continue to work on it because something is propelling you. But you know that the kind of money you need to make, you can't make it by yourself. If you are the only person working in your business, it cannot happen. You need a team. And you need to have the ability to duplicate that team. Last year, when we were talking about creating multiple streams of income, we mentioned that you need to maximize your current stream of income and then be able to duplicate that success in another area before you create another stream of income aside from the one you have currently. But this is hinged strictly on your ability to duplicate yourself in that business. If you've read how to build a business that thrives in your absence, you would understand what I'm talking about. Our aim is to not work in the business, but work on the business. You cannot remove yourself if you cannot duplicate yourself. So you must groom your vision, grow your vision to the extent that you will duplicate yourself in so many people and they will be able to run businesses on your behalf. I'm saying this so that you would understand the kind of vision you want to have. Nobody should have the vision of owning a supermarket. They should have a vision of owning a chain of supermarkets. And when you want to decide, go and check. Go and start looking for the Walmarts of this world. And then fashion your dream around those. The people that achieved it, they don't have 5 heads. So look at it. More than that, you also need to begin to change your internal conditions to dream like that. I would always refer to that December seminar because it's a goal-setting seminar. Our mentor asked us, how long do you want to live? And we are not permitted to say less than 120. If you want to live 120 years and you deduct your age from 120, what is it you want to do that you cannot do? Nothing. So when we say dream big, set big goals. Your goals can never be too big. It's the timeline for achieving it that might be unrealistic. If you want to have Walmart in 2 years, that might not make sense, especially if you have not started. But if you set that goal and you give yourself time, 20 years, then you start with one store. And then you give yourself time. In another 5 years, I want to have a second store. That is how it makes sense. But you must duplicate and multiply yourself. In the first store, somebody can run it before you move to the next one. So think big, believe big, act big, achieve big, and always, always generate big plans. So after dreaming big, what do? You start small. And why do you start small? Because really, the little things always amount to much when you count them. The Yorubas will say, Omitere lo dimu. However, if you start big and you suddenly discover you don't have the capacity to handle it, what will happen? You will make a huge loss. You will learn from experience. But start small with a quantity you can control. Of course, start where you are. I would always advise that if you want to start anything, go and learn it first. And that's why you see that when we were younger, everybody was learning something. They used to do freedom after apprenticeship. The truth is, apprenticeship applies in every discipline. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you have heard that lawyers are badly paid. Because when you apply for a job as a lawyer, your principal will tell you that you should be paying me for joining my law firm. Because you don't know anything. All that one they taught you in school is nothing. The real deal, what happens in court, you don't learn it in school. You don't learn how to move motions, how to raise objections. You cannot learn it in school. They can't teach you because your lecturers never went to court. They're academics. So they don't even know how to do these things you want to do. So the minute you come to a law firm, even though you do an attachment of 1 month, you are just watching and thinking, you are looking at the amount because the way they talk, wow. So you have not learned anything. By the time you now want to start, there is no employer you go and meet as a fresh lawyer that will not tell you, how much do you want to pay me because you are coming to learn, even after school. So it is important to stay with somebody that is doing what you want to do and learn. The era of social media has now made life easier for you. You don't necessarily need to be inside that person's office to learn from him. You can learn from anybody in the world. Just follow them on social media. If they are speaking anywhere, go there. Crisscrossing, but these are the ideas we need to have when we are starting a business. So volunteer for somebody that is doing something you want to do. The truth is, if the person is a good person, you will not lose. If they don't give you anything, they will give you transport fare. And so you'll be able to stay afloat. However, the knowledge you gain, you cannot pay the price for it. Unfortunately, our young people are too busy looking for money to appreciate the value of apprenticeship. It is always better to learn from someone else's experience than from your own. So find someone who is doing what you want to do and serve the person for free. You have an advantage. You have found how to do it. You have learned what not to do and what to do. That way, you are building your own business from your mind first before you translate it into reality. Because everything in life starts in your mind first before it translates into reality. I don't know how many of us came here today without thinking about coming here. Before that reality comes to life, it must first start in your mind. So it makes it easier for you to build your business in your mind if you are going to see a prototype of how that business is run. Now, avoid the borrowing mentality. It is not unusual to find people when they say they want to start a business, the first thing they want to do is find capital. Once they have an idea, they are looking for money. That is not the order for starting a business. Once you have an idea, you look for knowledge. Learn about the business first. It will save you a lot of money. So, learn. No matter what you want to do, learn. When you finish learning, you start. You don't start before you learn. Otherwise, you will have a lot of waste in your business process. And then when you start small, grow slowly. Some of us, when we see small success, we are lured into thinking that we can handle big things. If you go from 100 to 1,000 without the capacity to handle 1,000, you will crash in a way you did not crash with the 100. And everything in life grows slowly. Anything that does not grow slowly will crash suddenly. Have you seen people that won the lottery that became anything meaningful? Maximum 1 year, they go back to where they were before. Because they became rich overnight without plans for the money. But if you grow your wealth gradually, and you have a plan for what you want to do, that you have built in your mind first before you got the money, it is easier for you to control how you react when the money comes into your hands. When you are growing, be patient. And I must say, to those who are in paid employment now, you want to be the star employee where you are. If you're in employment to learn how to run your own business in the future, that's why I prefer people to go into businesses or work in places where they have the aim of starting that type of business. Even if it's not that exact type, at least you have things you can learn on the job. When you are learning on the job, make yourself invaluable. Because you need to be invaluable to yourself in your own business. What do I mean? Be the best team player. Be the person with the best ideas for growing the business. Why? You would have inculcated the habit of improving on what you are doing. If you can improve on what you are doing for somebody else, it will not be difficult for you to study to improve on what you are doing when you are working for yourself. We might think it's abstract, but it is the absolute truth. The way you work on somebody else's business is the way you work on your own. So if you keep giving your employer excuses for non-performance, you will give yourself excuses. And that is why too many people in the world today are mediocre. They are just average. They are just there. They are just living from paycheck to paycheck, even as business owners. But if you have a culture of consistently thinking about what you are doing and how you can improve it, even as an employee, you will consistently think of what you are doing as an entrepreneur and be able to improve on it. So, copy the experts. We will send the slides after, because I noticed that some people are writing words on the slides. We'll send the slides to the page after the seminar. Whatever it is you decide you want to do, the responsibility is on you to find somebody that is doing it excellently well right now. Then you have a simpler chore of replicating what they are doing. Get close to them. And like I said, social media has made it easy. You don't have to be physically present to learn what they do or how they do it. Pick their brains, read their books, attend their seminars and workshops. If you hear they are speaking anywhere, go there. If you cannot go physically, ask for the Zoom link, the YouTube. Everybody that is speaking these days has online presence. Ask for a way you can read up after them. And then you now practice what is called creative imitation. After you are doing what they do, you know I've said you must learn how to think on improving what you do. When you copy the experts, you become an expert yourself. However, if you are in the habit of saying, okay, I've done this thing for 2 weeks, there has to be a better way to do it. That means that you are consistently working on your expertise, unlike them. It's just a matter of time. You will be better than the experts you copied. However, if you copy an expert and you stay where you are, like I said, the world is moving at a very fast pace. It will overtake you and you will be left behind. So, when you decide on what you want to do, it is important for you to find a niche. What is a niche? A niche is a specific area of interest or expertise that sets you aside from the others. Because if you are cooking, everybody is cooking. If I ask how many people are into food and foodstuffs here, you'll be surprised. Very many people. And there are some streets that you will pass and you will realize that there is a bank almost everywhere. So why are people still opening banks? That's because they sat down and thought, okay, there's something these guys are not doing that we can introduce. So when you decide on what you want to do, find a niche. Find what will be special about what you do. Find your competitive advantage. What is going to set you apart from everybody else? At Academy Suite here, it is a home away from home experience, meaning that our niche is making you feel as if you are at home. However, we are doing it in a way that it is affordable for you. And so you already know that you get that experience at the best price possible. So what would your own competitive advantage be for what you do? Is it convenience to purchase from you? Is it your location? Is it the fact that they don't even need to come to you, you go to them? Is it the packaging? You must find something that differentiates you from everybody else. When you are cultivating your gift, your talent, your business, whatever it is you are doing, find that place, read up on it, find what your customers, Mrs. Oluwale was saying she didn't even speak to her customers. Find out what your customers want. You might need to talk to the people that are patronizing you when you start and find out what it is they need to add to that product to help them enjoy it better. It will point you in the direction you need to go, what you need to add to your offering to make you above, to put you above everybody else. So stick to your gift, but find that space that will be special to you. Now, I know that this image is not clear, so I'll read the circles to you. The orange circle says, even I can't see this. When whatever you are doing has to be professionally, we will still send it, must be professionally and personally satisfying for you. If you don't love what you do, you will not put your best into it. So love what you do and make sure that you find solving that problem satisfactory. Now, when you find your niche, it must have high profit potential. I said that before. Your hobbies will become your frustration if they don't make you enough money to do the things you need to do. The people that told you that money is not important, they lied to you. That is just satisfaction as long as you are fulfilled. I don't know how you can be fulfilled when you're hungry. I'm serious. Try it. Try feeling fulfilled when you're fasting. You just always feel like something is missing. So make sure that it has the potential to generate profit for you. The truth is, everybody always asks the question, what's in it for me? If what is in it for you is big enough, you will generate a passion for it. So be sure that whatever it is you want to specialize in is something that will generate income for you. Also, make sure that what you are doing solves a practical need. And there must be a demand for it. It's one thing to solve a problem. It's another thing for people to be willing to pay for the solution you are offering. So these are things you need to consider when you are finding your space in the business space. You are trying to stand out from competition. So you must find that thing that the people that are doing what you're doing are not doing. There's a woman I had make cake for me for years. Why? Because once she made a cake and the dispatch shook the cake and it bent. And I took a picture of the bent cake and complained to her. I have never seen it done by anybody else. She replaced the cake. That just bought my loyalty. Because I knew that I did not pay for a new cake. I knew that she had profit margin. The cake I got in the first place was not double the price. So whatever it is she did must have come from her pocket. And so because of that, I could not, even if I would deviate later, the next 4 cakes I need to make has to be made from her to cover the cost of the cake I knew that she had to remake. Funny enough, the cake that got spoiled was a birthday cake. By the time she was replacing it, there was no birthday again, but she still went ahead to replace it. These are things that differentiate. GTB was the first bank that had all those queues at their ATM machines. I was wondering, why was GTB hot at that time? And then I found out you can open an account with phone call. That means they provided a solution. Some of us hate going to banks. They can open the account without you coming to the bank. That's why almost everybody at that time had GTB accounts, because it was easier to open than everybody else. Okay, so how many of us have OPay accounts? Exactly. When the world went cashless and your bank system failed, everybody moved to OPay, MoneyPoint, PalmPay, because they were providing a solution that others did not have. Now, that's OPay. MoneyPoint, that's one. It blew my mind. How did it blow my mind? They now gave you a POS that somebody will do transfer and you will get alert. You don't understand. I'm not saying they are doing POS transaction. When you are doing a POS transaction on a good day, you will see transaction approved and you know you will get your money when you get your money. But if a customer walks into your shop and does a transfer, not that they are using that POS, you will get an alert that you did a transfer. So everybody got MoneyPoint POSs. Because that means that you have shortened the time of confirmation of alerts for your customers. And so I am now used to people getting to a store and saying, sorry, please, do you have MoneyPoint POS? Because I know I won't have to wait for 10, 15 minutes, especially when the owner of the business is not there. They will now call, please, Oga has not sent confirmation of the money you sent. That doesn't happen anymore. As a matter of fact, before I get debit alert, they have gotten credit alert that I can't see. So everybody opened. But that just shows you that they added something to what they were doing that we needed. And that's why everybody moved there. When you decide on what you want to do, focus on it. What you focus on is what will expand. Jack of all trades. I understand that that saying is longer than that. But the truth is, you cannot be an expert in everything. And like I already said about building multiple streams of income, maximize your income in your present state, in your present industry, in your present business first. If you do too many things at the same time, if you chase 4 birds, how many will you get? None. So focus on your focus. Success is about focusing on one thing until you get the results you seek. And I'm sure we all know that success is a journey. As soon as you hit your goal, you move the goalpost. You keep getting better. You keep pushing yourself when you focus on one thing. And that's why every year we tell you, have an umbrella goal. Have something you are chasing. We advise, make it something of monetary value. Why? Because if you set a money goal, there is no other goal you set that money will not help you get. So, focus on your umbrella goal. Have one thing you have decided you want to do. In your business, focus on your business. Focus on your niche. Focus on providing that service. Of course, you can do other things around that service, but you know which industry you are in. You are not doing agric today, hospitality tomorrow, fashion day after. When you do that, you lose the traction you get in any of those things. So focus, grow it till you know that it has grown to its best before you move. There is no such thing as universal expertise rather. So mind your own business. Don't say they say this is what is selling now and then you leave what you are doing and go. It is common saying that many businesses fail within the first 5 years. Well, I think that many business owners give up quite quickly. The truth is, if you are prepared to do this in the long haul and you have a vision for it and you studied about it before you started, you will persevere, because if you actually make it past the 5-year mark, you are likely to survive. But what happens is that many of us see a little bit of difficulty and we quit. So be committed to your vision. Be committed to your goals. Be committed to what you have decided you want to do. After being committed, hone your skills. Always ask, is anybody doing what I'm doing? How are they doing it? Are they doing it better than me? Be interested in the competition. Follow the competition on social media. Find out what they are doing that you are not doing. Find out what they are applying to their business that you can apply to yours that will give you an edge. Be interested in your industry. What are the trends in your current industry? And it doesn't start after you have started the business. It starts before you start. The best people in this industry, what do they do? How do they do it? Who are the best hands? How do they achieve what they achieve? And then you work on improving yourself and your business. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So when you are leading a team and you are not getting better, your team will not get better. There is no business in life that is not limited by the capacity of the person who owns it. If the person who owns it does not understand business, the business is already doomed. So keep improving yourself. And I'm saying this with particular reference to your craft. No matter what you do, there will always be a better way to do it. Find that better way before everybody else. If you don't find it before everybody else, find it as soon as it is found by anybody else. That is the way to stay ahead. Your life, your gifts, your talents, your personality, all these things that are summed up into you is God's gift to you. How you use it is how you show appreciation to God for that gift. And you'll be held accountable for how you use it. So make sure that you are achieving the best things possible, the best results possible with what you have. And when you're thinking about your business, over the weekend, I attended an online seminar. And somebody said, when you start a business, you should have an exit plan. Your exit plan for yourself. So what will your exit plan be? I've mentioned here before, when I was talking about this Ankara business I started, I said when it was time to register that business, I named it Affordable Apparels by Sapphire. And the first question the person who was helping me with the registration asked was, who is Sapphire? And I said, she's my daughter. And that since she was 5, she has been drawing cloth pattern. She has been doing fashion show in front of my mirror. I've realized that, okay, she has a passion for this thing. And so I have created a business around her passion. Don't forget, my business is solving a problem. But I have somebody in my house that is interested in that business. As soon as GS3 vacation started, she went to a tailoring school. In the last 6 months, she has been doing crochet. She's been making dresses from wool. She herself is so interested that she's building herself to take over that business. That is how to think long term. That is how to think about whatever it is you are starting. Everybody wants to leave a legacy. Any business you are starting, it must be able to outlive you. When people leave houses to their children, those houses are not lived in. And then those houses they built, 7 rooms, 14 rooms. People now turn it into hostel and hotel. Because the children have gone abroad. They are no longer here. There's nobody to take over that thing, that asset. They will just be sending accounts to credit rent. But if you create a business that is generating income, a viable business, you have already set your children on a path that others are struggling to get. We have learned late. We are now attending seminar. If they start early, they don't have to go through the pains we went through to get where we are. And a life of impact is a life that people still have things to say about you when you are gone. I think it was 2 months ago that I said it as well, that someone said, what's your grandfather's name? And the child they were asking said he did not know. And the grandmother said, yes, you cannot know because he didn't leave you anything. Everybody remembers the grandfather that left a will. Everybody remembers the grandfather that left a business or left something. You will be unknown. The post has been flying around. In another 100 years, which one of us will be here? In another 100 years, which one, when they mention your name on the street you were living in, who would remember you? They will remember you if you leave a legacy. They will remember you if you start a family business, if you have a vision for your family. There is absolutely nothing wrong with deciding now what your 2-year-old will do. Like I said, I observed the passion for fashion in my daughter. I saw a fashion problem that I'm solving. And the beautiful thing is, if you teach that child business, the child doesn't need to know how to sew. The child only needs to know how to manage a business. So set them on the path right from start, very early. When you're writing affirmations, let them write affirmations. When you are dreaming big, share your dreams so that they can dream along those lines as well. That is the way to create a legacy that goes beyond you. Create that culture now. A friend of mine called me and said he didn't have money to recruit somebody, he needs to do this, he set up a training program. You know, he was just complaining about manpower and the fact that I can't afford manpower now. I said, your son is 19, your daughter is 16. Why are you looking for manpower? Your 16-year-old daughter can do slides, you are a trainer. Your 19-year-old son can arrange your calendar. What is the manpower for? We have resources in our homes that we are not using. And we are paying heavy school bills. Introduce them to what you do early. That's the only way they can carry on when you are not there. And all progress made must be knowledge driven. So when you are reading, make them read. There are books for their age. Stephen Covey has a teenage version of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. All these books, they've done the teenage version. There are books for toddlers on how to manage money. Find them, give them. If we knew then, at their age, we will not be here. So equip them for a better and brighter future already. That is how to leave a legacy. So no matter what you do, always think succession. When we said multiply yourself, reproduce yourself, it is easier to reproduce yourself in your house. However, that means that you yourself must be somebody worth emulating. That means you must live the principles that you are reading. That means you must shun the vices. All the vices in your life, remove them now. Because children learn more from observing than from being told what to do. So what you tell them does not matter as much as what you do. So you can't harass any child to come and do affirmation or visualization when you are not doing it. Because nowadays they are even bolder. They will say, why are you telling me to do what you are not doing? Did you do it? Have you written your own? When was the last time you wrote your own? Mom, please leave me. But if you are living that life and they are seeing the results, you won't even need to beg them. Everybody wants to be like the rich uncle. If they know what the rich uncle is doing that is making him rich, they will do it without being begged. They will do it without being forced. Your children don't like reading. Show them the results of reading. Show them how reading has enhanced your income. You won't beg them. They will jump at it. So there are 2 stages in life. The stage where you are working for money and the stage where money is working for you. So my question to you today is this. Which stage are you at? Are you working for money or is money working for you? It's a question. Is there anybody willing to answer us? It's not rhetorical, no, he has answer. Answer it. If you are bold enough, you can tell us. You want to answer inside you? Sir, both. The battery of the mic is off. So, your destination is to have money work for you. When we talked about how to make wealth creation a priority, we mentioned the fact that it's a cycle. You earn, you save, and you invest. The only way you will be able to get your money to work for you is if you get to that investment stage. Many of us earn and save, and after saving, we unsave. That's the cycle we are familiar with. Earn, save, unsave, earn, save, unsave. If you are in that cycle, you will never invest. If you do not invest, your money cannot work for you. So we must develop a culture of saving and not touching it. I've once heard this analogy. I've read the analogy in one of Dr. Abib's books. And the analogy is this. Have you ever paid your tithes to church before and gone back to collect it? So when you save your 10% for yourself, why do you ask yourself for it? The same way you feel you are giving it to God, that you're saving, you must cultivate the habit of believing you are giving it to your future. And considering it as money that you have put in the offering basket to secure your future, such that you never ask yourself back for it. That is the only way your savings can save you. Otherwise, what your savings will be saving you from is flat tire, gear has spoiled, fridge is not working. You will convert your savings into emergency funds. And a saving that is converted into emergency funds will never be invested for long enough to give you the right kind of income. However, if you save for long enough quantity, what will happen is that the interest on your investments will keep you living in style. When we will talk about making wealth creation a priority, we also mentioned, is there anybody here that needs more than 12 million a month to survive? If you practice frugality, you don't. What kind of food do you want to be eating? But if you have as high as 250 million, 500 million in savings, you know that your interest, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. However, you can't even get there if you have unsaved. So learn to watch your egg nest. Watch it grow. Because you know that if you grow it consistently, whether you like it or not, the interest on your investments can save you later. So work with the end in mind. Pursue your savings with the end in mind. Knowing what you want to do with it is what will motivate you not to touch it. Please, I must announce to you that over 90% of the human beings on earth will never leave stage 1. It takes a conscious decision that where you are going is stage 2, where your money will work for you. And it will not matter whether you wake up and go to work today or not, you will eat. Until you get to that stage, you are still in stage 1. But it takes intentionality and deliberateness. You must be working towards being financially free. So there's this quote by Oscar Wilde that says, when I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I am old, I know that it is. What do you want that money cannot get for you? Think about it. No matter what it is, money makes it easier to bear. The luxuries of life, the comfort of life will make it easier to bear anything you have to deal with. As a matter of fact, the way Nigeria is going, you had better have money. You should ask those who have asthma how much inhaler is now. As a matter of fact, money is life to that person. Because if you cannot afford that inhaler, the person would have gone before they even know that the person is having an asthmatic attack. So don't let anybody lure you into thinking money is not important. I want to live a life of altruism and all of that. No matter what, it's always better. You will feel great if you hear there's an earthquake somewhere and you send them relief materials. But you cannot even do that if you don't have money to relieve yourself in your house. How do you relieve other people? So learn to build your treasury. Pay attention to your treasury. What you focus on expands. To the employees here, we have a tendency to do that saving from our salary. But every other money that comes in is a wolf. You know, when we have that formula, 80, you divide how you want to spend it. 10 goes to charity, 10 goes to savings. Of course, I expect us to increase the amount that goes to savings as your income increases, not just by the percentage. Because when you earn so much, You can afford to keep away much more. But some of us, I'm addressing the money that comes that is not the one you're expecting. What happens? As soon as somebody dashes you money like this, you will go, that human hair that I've been eyeing that I thought I could not afford, now I can afford it. The question is it a need? How does it impact your life and your usefulness to yourself? You must learn to invest in the things that will produce money for you in the future. So when you want to part with money, even if it is a gift, if it was unexpected, always ask yourself, this thing I'm doing with this money, does it give me the ability to generate more money? If it doesn't, it is not worth your money. Money you are not expecting, especially when your budget has been satisfied, should go to savings. It should not be, let me give myself a treat. They have dashed me money. It should be something you will put away until you have amassed enough to invest and secure your future. In a business, always make sure you save 20% of your profits as your sinking funds. Why? Opportunities always present themselves. When they do, would you be ready to take it? Even if you need to take a bank loan to take advantage of an opportunity, guess what the first question they will ask you in the bank is? How much do you have? I head the welfare department in my church. And when somebody comes and says they can't pay their rent, I always ask, how much do you have? Rent is never by surprise. So when you say you don't have rent, you don't have school fees, you don't have all those things that are statutory, the first question I will ask you, you are coming to beg for help. How much do you have? Nobody will help you if you cannot help yourself. The saying goes, heaven helps those who help themselves. You can't go and ask for external help when you can't help yourself. And there's also another saying I heard from Dr. Habib that says that the best helping hand you will ever have is the one at the end of your arm. You are the best helper of yourself. So have a sinking funds, money that you have set aside for taking advantage of opportunities in your business, for expanding your business. Always remove at least 20% of your profit to prepare for the future of your business. Your business, you would hear in law, they tell you that it's a corporate entity, it's a human being. So the way you save for yourself, you must save for your business as well. And when you are saving for yourself, you must have the end in mind. What is the end? The income from your investments must outgrow your expenses. The point of saving for the future is to make sure that just the income, the interest that you are earning on what you have saved should keep you living in style. So we have said all these things, and many of us come here desiring to be rich. We say it all the time, we're generous billionaires. We sing the anthem and we look forward to it. But the truth is, do we really desire to be rich? If wishes were horses, beggars will ride. That's because they are wishes. You need to take your desire away from the zone of wishing. When you now get to wanting, that means you are ready to work on it. However, it's still not the same thing. Because you are ready to work on it does not mean you are working on it. You must be committed to your vision. You must be focused on this thing you want. I'll be rich till I die. Kiss Daniel. You must be working actively on it. Somebody's phone is embarrassing us. How do you show commitment? In a relationship, can you say you are committed if you are not talking to the person regularly, if you are not checking on the person? The person will just assume that you are one of the others. But if you are in a committed relationship, you will check. How are you doing? What do you need? The one you can provide, you provide. The one you cannot provide, you try to get somebody to provide. So check on your treasury in that same manner to show commitment to your treasury. Add to your treasury every time you get money. Watch over it. Check your investments. Is that the highest income you can earn on that amount? Is that the best place to put it? Is that the safest place to put it? What you focus on expands. Pay attention to your money. It is extremely important. When you are committed, you now become obsessed. When you become obsessed, that is when you know that that is what you're thinking about day and night. You are thinking, how can I grow this thing I have? You commit mind time to it. You set apart a time of your day when you think about how you can get where you want to go to. That is obsession. And obsession is not something you can hide. People will know that something is driving you when you're obsessed. People will know that something is different about you. So we all need to take our desire to get our results from where we are to where we will be. This quote says, life is found in the dance between your deepest desire and your deepest fear. So if you desire deeply, if you are obsessed about what you want to achieve, if you keep acting on it and that is all you are thinking about all the time, it is just a matter of time. You will get there. And when you get there, you'll be able to live the life that you want to live. Entrepreneurs are the people who choose to do what others will not do, to live the life they want to live, that others will not get to live. So, with all these strategies we have shared, I hope that we would all find fire to put on ourselves and make a difference. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.